Hey guys, it's Tyrannic Tyler coming back at you with some banger chunky Moo content. Today, as the title says, we will be ranking the Fontaine artifact sets based on their value and explaining what they do and which characters they're best on. Okay, so the first artifact set we're starting off with is Marechaussee Hunter. This one gives you on the 2-piece normal and charge attack damage 15%, and when your HP increases or decreases, it gives you 12% crit rate with 3 stacks, so that's 36 crit rate for characters who can manipulate their HP and characters played with Farina. So I'm pretty sure it's competitive with most artifact sets on main DPS just because of how much crit rate it gives you. It's also best in slot for Nouvelette and Risley and other main DPS that can change their HP. So this one we are putting, I'm thinking maybe A tier because it is in one of the most efficient, like resin efficient domains. However, it's only for DPS, and actually no, I've changed my mind. But just because it gives you 36% crit rate and Farina is viable on most teams, it's an S tier artifact set. The next one is Golden Troupe. So Golden Troupe gives you 20% skill damage increase, and then when you're off field it gives you an extra 25 plus 25%, which is 50%. So this artifact set gives you 70% elemental skill damage increase as long as you aren't on field for very long. So this artifact set is best on Fischl, who got another buff in 3.0 because she's I don't know, she's already OP enough, but they thought she needed a buff. It's best on Farina, it's competitive on Yai, and it will be very competitive on Emily. Like, I haven't seen the calculations, but I believe it's going to be pretty strong on Emily because she's an elemental skill user. So this one's also S tier, and these both are in the same domain, so this is a great place to invest your resin, especially if you own Fontaine characters. This works pretty well on a lot of Fontaine characters. The next artifact set is Song of Days Past. So this one gives you a healing bonus, and also with this wall of text, it basically gives your normal charge, plunging, elemental skill, elemental burst a flat damage increase for high amounts of healing. So kind of like Aggravate, but for just everything. I'm not sure how many times. It says 5 here, so not sure exactly how great that is, but it's alright for supports that heal a lot, like Siegeween and Baiju, even Barbara. However, this is really niche and it only has 5 procs. I believe it gets power crept by, not power crept because it came out later, but you know, it's basically like Ocean Hued Clam is probably competitive with, but for a lot of these supports, they can run Tenacity of the Millilith. Siegeween, Baiju can, but not really. Kokomi can run Tenacity of the Millilith. So just because it has a lot of competition with healing artifact sets, I'm honestly going to put it at waste of resin. It's not really something that you should be actively farming for. The next one is Nighttime Whispers in the Echoing Woods. This one gives you 18% attack. After using an elemental skill, you get 20% geo damage bonus, and while crystallized reactions happen, you get that times, not times, but with a 150% increase, giving you, I'm pretty sure, 50% geo damage bonus. So this artifact set is tailor-made for Navia. It could arguably be used for like Chiori with Yelan, but honestly, I'm not rating this one very high. I reckon, I guess it works with Noelle as well. So it works with Geo characters, the only problem is that they're Geo characters. So I'm honestly gonna have to put this one in B tier. A big part of that is because the other artifact set in the domain is so useless. I consider it a waste of resin, meaning it's like I wouldn't really call this very worth farming unless you love Navia, unless you love your Geo units. But once again, they all have other options. I'm not going to go into it because of time. The next set is Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy. This one gives you 18% attack, and it also gives you an 18% damage percent when your Bond of Life increases or decreases, and this has 3 stacks, giving you 54%? yeah, giving you 54% damage percent. This artifact set only works on Clorind and it works on Arlecchino. And these are two great units, but Arlecchino has Gladiator which she can run, and Clorind has Gladiator as well, and also Thundering Fury. So for that reason, I think this artifact isn't very valuable to farm, just because it's very competitive with Gladiator and everyone already has a Gladiator set, at least endgame players. So I don't really rate this artifact set, even though it is like it gives you great stats. It just isn't very resin efficient, so I'm gonna put it B tier. I think it's above Navia's set. And then the final artifact set is possibly the weirdest, Unfinished Reverie. This gives you 18% attack percent, and basically it gives you damage dealt increase based on if characters are burning. And the buff is alright, the problem is there aren't really burning teams. Like, you can play this for the main DPS of a burn melt team, however it's just not worth farming. It's going to be best in slot for Emily, but I much more recommend that you farm the domain for Marechaussee Hunter and for Golden Troupe. So just because Unfinished Reverie is only valuable on one character, and I mean, the other set in the domain is good, it's just not good enough. I feel like everyone who farmed for Arlecchino has a great set of this, just incidentally. However, I don't recommend farming this domain. So, summary of this video, these two are this domain I highly recommend farming. Denouement of Sin. So if you're wondering where you should be putting your resin, I say Denouement of Sin, and the other ones I really don't recommend unless you love Arlecchino or Navia. So that is where I rate all of the artifact sets from Fontaine. I hope you enjoy. Please stay tuned for more banger Chunky Mumu content. Goodbye.